one of the favorite, as you could say, love affairs of the right wing over the past year, and maybe even more really, has been Elon Musk. Particularly like Elon Musk's pointing and laughing at Joe Biden, his his offers to buy Twitter and his flirting with buying Twitter, and the deal even going along looking like he might actually end up buying Twitter. He's also the world's richest man, so he has a lot of influence. And he also is he's posted a lot of like, oh, these libtards, huh? You know what I'm saying, boys? Kind of takes. And so a lot of Republicans have taken to him. They've thinking like, hey, this is our boy, this is our billionaire, this guy's on our side, he's fighting for free speech. And so there's been a sort of love affair, a soiree with the right and Elon Musk recently. Now, this has been put into the air for two reasons. The first reason, Elon Musk has officially fully just completely pulled out of buying Twitter. And some people are like, yeah, you showed them, Elon. They lowballed you or something or they were trying to screw you, Elon. While other people are kind of angry at Elon because they think, wait, we thought you were with us. Was this just for attention? Now that the going get rough, you're going to give up the fight for free speech? We thought you were the special billionaire on our side, fighting for free speech, as you censor the voices of your workers trying to unionize. I thought you were on the side of the people. Now this has gotten even more intense after this, and that is the revelation from Elon Musk that he didn't vote for Donald Trump. So Trump recently said that Elon Musk told Trump, that is, that he voted for him. Basically, Trump is saying like, hey boys, it's in his usual Trump demeanor. Did you know that Elon Musk, amazing, radical? He doesn't say radical. He voted for me. He voted for me last election. He told me that. Elon Musk replies to this saying, not true. Now, this was his major mistake. Now he's completely lost that right-wing love affair for multiple reasons, right? The first reason is he's admitting that he didn't vote for Donald Trump, which makes a lot of people immediately assume, oh my God, Elon Musk, the guy mocking Joe Biden, Mr. High gas prices, bad economy, even though right now oil prices are plummeting. And again, the economy is actually doing quite better than it was under Trump, but marketing always works. Elon Musk voted for Biden? That's crazy. That's terrible. That's awful. Oh my God, I can't believe it. He betrayed us in the moment of truth. So that's the first reason. But I also want to add that I don't even think Elon voted for Biden. If I was to guess, he either A, didn't vote at all, or B, voted third party, right? He wrote in, I don't know, like Conor McGregor or something on the ballot. He wrote in Elmo. He wrote in some joke candidate. He just didn't vote, or he voted for third party. That's what I think. I don't think he voted for Biden. I think he wants to, be the ultimate free thinker. I think that's something that Elon Musk values of himself a lot, is that he's viewed as like a free thinking type. And so with that type of election, what he would end up doing would most likely, in my opinion, be voting third party. But here's the other thing, is if Trump said that Elon Musk told him that he voted for him, then to Trump supporters, that's what he said. Trump said it, that's what he said. This is the dynamic with Donald Trump. It's not, oh wow, I think they both, they have different interpretation of events. I guess either somebody's lying here, and maybe it's Trump, and or maybe they just misremember the event. No, that's not how it works. It's Trump told the truth here. Trump doesn't lie. That's always how he's been treated by his supporters. January 6th is a perfect example of that. Trump said that he can't lose the election. Well, I guess he can't lose the election. Trump then proceeds to lose the election. Trump then says it was rigged against him. Well, I guess it was rigged against him. That's always how this goes with Donald Trump. Trump says it, so it's true. Trump says it, so it's true. No matter how many times the man has been shown time again and again and again and again to lie, and lie on the regular. So this is the two mistakes Elon made when it comes to the Trump crowd, okay? If that is thinking if he even cares about pleasing them, which again, free thinking type, so I doubt he even really cares. That's how he wants to, be perceived. Or maybe that just really is who he is. He A, told people he didn't vote for Trump, and B, told people that Trump is a liar because he's saying that this didn't happen. And so Trump reacts to this news as Trump would, by going on an onslaught of an attack against Elon Musk. Let's look at this. This is a quick 50 seconds. He mentioned him briefly at a campaign rally. Let's look at this.
A pistol, and you see that, I pulled that one right. Leon, I tell you what, Elon is not going to buy Twitter. Where did you hear that before? From me. From a fake account. She says fake. A lot of them. Nah, he's got himself a mess. You know, he said the other day, oh, I've never voted for a Republican. I said, I didn't know that. He told me he voted for me. So he's another bullshit artist, but he's not going to be buying it. He's not going to be buying it. Although he might later. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? He's got a pretty rotten contract. I looked at his contract. Not a good contract.
This has continued as it continues to spiral down. As spiral away on Truth Social, which is of course Donald Trump's social media site. This is when he really got into the weeds here. Let me just read this out for you. When Elon Musk came to the White House asking me for help on all of his many subsidized projects, whether it's electric cars that drive long enough, driverless cars that crash, electric cars that don't drive long enough, driverless cars that crash, or rocket ships to nowhere, without which subsidies he'd be worthless, telling me how much he was a big Trump fan and Republican, I could have said, drop to your knees and beg, and he would have done it. Wow. Okay. So, what's that picture? I don't want to say it, but this is what I think of it, okay? This is our moment. This is our second. And I would never use this word, but it's the only thing I can think of in this moment. I mean, I love it. This is going to be my favorite Trump arc. And I said this on Twitter. This is going to be one of my favorite Trump arcs, is watching him go back and forth with the richest man alive, who's also a tech bro, who also like puts himself in this like free thinking position. Because, Elon had those positions on, like, for example, mask mandates and vaccines and the lockdowns. He was a free thinking type on all these issues, right? He's bunking the Biden administration. And so he's built up a pretty fervent right-wing fan base. And that's on top of the fact of his whole quest for free speech on Twitter, which he's just completely dropped. And so to see this stiff turn from not only Trump, but a lot of right-wingers who see him as betraying them over the whole Twitter situation, it's going to be funny to basically see the armies of soy Reddit and the armies of the MAGA movement crash into each other as Elon has to fall upon his previous fan base, right? And Elon can't get out of this one by calling Donald Trump a pedophile like he tried to do when it came to saving those Malaysian kids stuck in a cave. I don't think that'll help him much here. I think Trump has a much bigger verbal game than him. I think he can crush him verbally. I think he can crush him with the right. I think Elon's just going to fall back on the centrist free thinking crowd now. And it's going to be fun to see the split happen as people fall off the Elon train or the Elon rocket ship, whatever you want to call it. And this is the thing with Trump. And this is, I think, the lesson we should take away from this. If you don't give the man total subservience, your time with Trump is limited. I mean, Mike Pence was almost completely subservient for Trump. There was 2 instances during his political career where he wasn't during the Trump era. And that was the one moment when it was the grab him by the pussy moment, and behind closed doors, probably without Trump's knowledge, he approached Republican officials saying, I can take the nomination if necessary. And the second time was when the country was seeing people storm the Capitol. And he said, I will not overthrow our democracy, and I will not institute these fake electors and stop democracy from taking place and Joe Biden from ascending to the highest office of the land, as he was given the Democratic mandate to do. So those are the only 2 times Mike Pence broke from Trump. Both of them, honestly, completely understandable times for the most part. But that was enough. And now Mike Pence is, Mike Pence wasn't loyal enough, and Mike Pence wasn't brave enough to do what was necessary. Mike Pence was a coward. You see it all again and again and again. This was also true for the former what's his name? Not Bill Burns, but what was his name? He was the head of the Department of Justice. It's basically all of Trump's, like a very Bill Barr. Yeah, Bill Barr is another example of this. Many people in his administration are examples of this, where if you did not show complete, another example was the cybersecurity expert that was fired when he didn't lie and say, oh, fraud was taking over. He said this was one of the most secure elections of our lifetime. Boom, fired. Didn't matter. You need to deny reality to continue to be in Donald Trump's good graces, and even that can't guarantee it. Even that can't guarantee you staying in Donald Trump's good graces. But that's the bare minimum you need to do. Not Lindsey Graham, but Liz Cheney is a good example of this. Liz Cheney voted with Donald Trump on the vast majority of his policies. She was, for all intents and purposes, when it came to her voting record, she was a Trump Republican when it came to her voting record. But when it came to the election being stolen and all of that nonsense, and we need to stop the steal, she didn't buy the narrative. She didn't lie with the rest of the Republicans. She still voted for all the voter suppression measures. She still voted with Donald Trump the vast majority of the time. She was still replaced, even though she was in, I think, the second most powerful position in Republican House leadership. She was immediately moved out of that, kicked out of that position, and replaced with somebody who voted with Trump less of the time, was less in line with Trump's voting record, just because she would not show subservience to his easily disprovable narrative about the election being stolen, which led to violence on January 6th. And so this is just one more example that if you don't show complete subservience to this man in the middle of my screen, then he is not going to be your friend. He's not going to be your buddy. He's not going to be your pal. He will throw you out the Trump train at the nearest stop. He wants yes men, not experienced legislators and politicians who can actually look him in the face and tell him this is a bad idea. It seems like the only people in his inner circle who did that consistently and got to stay, or that was part of his administration and got to stay, were the people that were kind of like outside of his control to fire just offhandedly, just kick out of his inner circle. He won't invite you to his birthday party, or you never know, he might be banned off of Truth Social. Hell, even like Steve Bannon's wing of the party, I think, is gonna win the war here. Steve Bannon was kicked out like a year into the Trump administration because a lot more, I guess you can call it, the Republican establishment type figures kind of won and kind of boxed him out and pushed him out. But he didn't trash the president. He didn't trash him. He stayed being polite towards Donald Trump. And eventually, his show on the internet grew. He continued to gain more footholds. His time from Breitbart continued to, flare up in his eyes as he built up an internet show. And now his wing of the party seemed to be gaining more and more and more influence within the Trump administration. Bannonites are trash. They are a subset of the moronic age that is the Republican Party. Exactly. But I mean, they're winning in the Republican Party, that is. And Musk does not seem to be with that side of the party, at least in its entirety, and therefore he has been punished for his lack of subservience to the Trump cult. Remember, don't speak out against Trump. Gonna live fine and dandy. Ever have one bad thing to say about anything he's ever done, or just not even vote for the guy? Trashed, gone, out. Didn't show the proper loyalty. And Trump has said multiple times, the main thing he values above all else is loyalty. So Elon didn't show that. Very sad. Very sad, very sad, very sad. This is perfect to demonstrate this, though.